everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap, and today I'm going to try to do a remake of a soap that I made. It's one of my first soaps. I had a request from one of the subscribers if I could show how to make that soap. The issue is one of my first soaps I ever made, and I never made a video for it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and recreate the soap. That particular soap is about 3 years old. I've saved it because it was the first one. I'm very proud of it. It's in our guest bathroom. So I pulled it out, and we're going to go ahead and try to recreate it. I'm going to be using a Saponify. This is avocado butter. I wanted to try this formula. I got this off of Amazon, and I'm also going to be using some clear glycerin melt and pour. So avocado butter, melt and pour, and clear glycerin. We're going to be using blue ice because it's a water. It's supposed to look like the beach, the waves. We're going to use a little bit of biodegradable glitter into the blue ice only, not into the avocado butter. And then I think we're going to scent it with Yuzu Cybilla. So we'll go ahead and get these melted. We're going to pour these very cold, so we're going to get them melted and get everything else prepared. Okay, I have the melt and pour out. So the opaque melt and pour feels really, really thick. Feels really nice, actually. I wasn't sure about this brand, but so far so good. We will go ahead and mix our mica. And we're going to go ahead and put our blue ice in. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the glitter now. The first time I did this soap, I used a lighter blue, like an Ariel blue, I think is what Stardust would call it. But I think I wanted to make it a little bit darker, like more of a pretty ocean look to it. So what I'm going to do is I made it a little bit darker. If it doesn't work, then I'll go back and I'll do it a little bit lighter. Then we'll add in our biodegradable glitter now. Okay, so we are at 158. And 163. So I don't want to add our Yuzu Cybilla in just yet. We can go ahead and add the mica. It's mixed with alcohol, and the bio glitter's in there too. We can go ahead and that's going to actually lower our temperature quite a bit. Go ahead and get it mixed. And you want to continue to stir this even right before you pour, because you don't want the glitter to sink all the way to the bottom, which you can do. All right, so we have approximately 1.5 pounds here. So I'm going to use about 5 ml of the Yuzu Cybilla once I can. I know I can add it to here now. Yeah, it's 148. And 164. Still a little bit warm to add here, but I can't really read the flash point on here, but I'm confident we can do it in this one. So we'll go ahead and add it to our glycerin. We're going to do 2.5 ml. It's a little hard to do with gloves on, so we'll do that in a second. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Basically, this has already got a skin on it, so this particular brand will develop a skin, or it starts to, at about 161, which is fine. I'm actually going to just give it a few more minutes, and we're going to pour this first. I want this to harden up a little bit. The one thing I've always noticed is that our glycerins are always a heavier base than usually than my opaque melt and pour. So if I were to pour in this first and then this right on top, the glycerin seems to go down, and you've probably seen that in some of the lines where you see kind of a glycerin trail that goes straight down. It's just because it's heavy. So I want this to actually set up in the mold a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead. That's what I did in the soap a few years ago. We're going to let it set up, and then I'm just going to pour on top, and we'll see how it goes. We're going to let this cool down for just a little bit longer, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we were at 157. This basically said at 176, so we're good. Put it in at 157. It's pretty thick. And it dropped it, so it's still about 158. I'm actually fine with that. I'm going to go ahead and pour this because this mold is cooler anyway. Now we know this mold holds approximately 19 to 20 ounces, and that's what I poured here so that we wouldn't waste any soap. So we're going to go ahead and I want to pour this one first. We'll just leave a little bit for the top. I need to try to create a wave look, and I'm really trying to remember how I did all this 3 years ago. It's one of the reasons why I like to make the videos. It's easier for me to remember how I did something. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let that set up a little bit, and then we will go ahead and pour our blue on top of it. Okay, we're going to see where we're at now. The opaque base is pretty thick, and I'm going to try and poke a little hole here and see where we're at. So 132. We have a little skin on our glycerin. 137. I think we'll go ahead and pour, because I don't want this to get too hard. I wanted to use the funnel cups because it's a little bit more direct and precise. I just want to make sure that, actually I'm going to just stir it all in. It's supposed to look like waves. I forgot. Okay, we're going to pour from high up. Okay, there might be some muddling, I'm not sure though. And I'm going to have this go right on the top, because again I want it to look like waves. So I'm fine with the clumps. Okay, and then we'll see. Once this cools down a little bit more, I'm going to try to flip it up a little bit. I have a little bit more blue ice left. I'm going to pour that on top too, just to make sure we get everything in and try to get as full as possible. And we'll be back. Okay, what we're going to do is I've gone ahead and I peeled some of this down and some of this down for our top. I'm going to go ahead and put my other glove on. Take a skewer, and I'm going to start messing with the top a little bit. Make it just a little bit rougher. And then I'm going to sprinkle on as best I can. Break it into little pieces. And this is the only way I really can make waves look like they're crashing. So hopefully it comes out okay. Again, I did this soap about 3 years ago, and I was kind of examining it and trying to see what I did exactly. This base that I'm trying for the first time feels pretty thick. I think it's going to be pretty good with the lather. We'll just stick some of this. We just don't want to waste any soap. And what you could do, since we have a little bit left in here, you could melt that down and just kind of pour it on top just to make sure these little pieces will stay. And they might melt down a little bit, but that's okay. Someone had asked me how I wash these. It's very easy. I peel it up just like you saw. I will either use it or I will put it in a little, any extra soap in a little bag. And then when I get new molds, I test them out by using the older soap. And then we usually just keep it at home, and unless one of the friends of the kids come over and think it's really cool and want it, then they can have it. But this is basically what I do. So you just wash it with soap and water afterwards and just let it dry and you're fine. I'm going to go ahead and melt this down just a little bit, and I'm going to add it to the top of this soap, and then we'll let it set. Oh, I didn't record this part. Basically, there was just a little bit left, and I just squirted it with alcohol and I just drizzle it on there. And that way it kind of makes sure that the soap that we had added after the fact will stay down. So we're going to wait for this to set, and then we'll come back and cut. Okay, everybody, we're back. I went ahead and unmolded the soap, and it looks good. It looks like the waves crashing just like I wanted it to. So we're going to go ahead and cut the soap. These are going to be kaolin soaps. So we're going to go ahead and see how they look for her. Yeah, I really like that's exactly how I wanted the wave to look. So it does look like the wave's crashing. I think the top really adds to it. It smells great. And again, this is avocado butter melt and pour, the opaque one, from Saponify from Amazon. I kind of just wanted to see it and try it and see what it looked like. There we go. And our last one. Okay, so it looks like a little wave. It's not exactly like my other one, but you know, I still like it a lot. I like the colors a lot more too. Okay guys, this is Anna from Koala Soap. I hope you like this, and we will see you next week with some more videos. Have a great weekend.